Exactly.
Okay. Also joining us is Titi Lokbe. Father is Titi is also a journalist. Hello, Titi.
Hi.
You know you're a journalist, so you're used to saying it's nice to have you. So it's really nice to be on your show. Okay, so let's get straight into it, Titi. Tell me, how can we pass this information to people to understand how the media works so we can avoid issues of fake news, etc., etc.?
All right. I think the very first thing is this. Before we start thinking of fact-checking, we need to breathe. We need to pause. So once you're sent a piece of information that you're not sure of, pause before you say. Before you go on WhatsApp and you have the long press and then you forward, just pause. And then if you do not have like the required information that you need to fact check certain information, it's advisable to refer to a fact checker or a journalist, I mean. So usually I tell my parents, I like the example you gave when you started this show. I usually tell my parents, you know what, you have a WhatsApp group platform, don't just share anything like that. Once you get an information that you're not sure of, please just send to me first. Then let me verify for you, because you're saving millions of people like chaotic incidents if you do not share messages that you cannot verify. So if once you have you're able to copy, you start with that, you have gone a long way in even just helping us, we fact checkers and journalists, helping us to curb the spread of fake news. So, and then if you want to go the length of actually verifying such information, there are like tools, fact-checking tools that you can actually make use of. You have the Thin Eye, you have Google image reverse tool, where you can actually upload certain content image and check if that image is still current, if it's still valid or not. And also, it's also important to check the date in which you see that piece of information. If that piece of information is not correct, it's possible that the fake news is actually valid, but it's something that has happened way before now. So it's important, and those people who are trying to like push out that narrative, they are trying to link the past and the present together. So it's important that you check the piece of the currency of the information, if it's actually accurate. And also, it's important to check the source. If the source is not an expert, please dissuade from sharing such information. And also very important, when you cite a fake news, you would know if it's a fake news if it goes along a certain narrative. Usually the core of journalism is what balance, and you're always the fake news has a certain narrative without getting to hear the other side of the story. So if you're seeing that someone is trying to sell you something, trying to advertise something to you, or trying to tell you or sell you a certain narrative, then you should know that it is a red flag. So yes, those are the key ways to know how to curb the spread of fake news.
That was very, very, very comprehensive. Madam Treasurer just said that you should try as much as possible to separate yourself and don't move with the crowd. But sometimes it's hard. You know, if you have a particular sentiment and then there's a news that is in line with that particular sentiment. Take, for example, if I like ogbono soup and then I see that there's in the news that ogbono soup that they're selling in a particular area or region is fake. Because I love ogbono soup, I'm just going to automatically believe it. So at that point in time, how do I separate myself, you know, from what I love, you know, what is peculiar to me or peculiar to my region or peculiar to my tribe or my religion? How do I separate myself and fact check? So what's the mental process?
Okay, so once you're faced with that situation, usually the core of journalism is that you have to remove yourself from this situation because the truth is more important. You need to spread, you need people to know what is factual. So you either have to consult with an expert, and a health expert, or someone who you know is very conversant in the field. So it's important, it's understandable that we're humans and we operate based on our biases, we operate based on our sentiments. But when it comes to your job, this is your job, you have to be professional. So, and you cannot dish out false information because you have a certain bias for ogbono soup. So it's very important that if it has to do with the health of human beings, or it has to do with an ideology that might affect a certain people, it's advisable to get information from a valid source. So it's not just about you saying that, okay, this is how I feel and I want to project it on people, but it's important that you spread the right information.
Okay, now a follow-up question. Now, there have been certain conversations going around about underreportage of certain issues, and that's as a result of certain restrictions that some of these trusted media structures might have. So in cases like this, where there might be underreportage of a particular issue, how do you advise that the truth gets out?
I would advise that the media needs to encourage user-generated content. I mean, getting issues from people. We cannot be everywhere. You can't report all issues. You will get overwhelmed. So on issues that are underreported and people come to meet you that, oh, we have this piece of information, I mean, it's right. It's advisable to also hear their side of the story. So I usually advise that you make use of user-generated content, in as much as it gives your platform like credibility because you are trying to bring different diverse communities together. It creates a sense of belonging in the minds of people who are underreported. They value you, and once one person values you, definitely their family and friends sees that, oh, okay, you are creating this form of affinity for us, and then you're putting your platform in a better light. So user-generated content, I totally endorse.
Also, Titilope Fadare, thank you so much for joining me today. You guys have really made the show a wonderful show. Thank you very much.